All right, guys, Inquisitor Shamel may very well be the champion that you need to finish up stage 30 of the event dungeon, or really any stage, because the boss is going to strip your buffs. So a non-protected block debuffs is going to be taken right off of you, and then she's going to apply True Fear on everybody. But Inquisitor Shamel is going to come in, remove the Fear of True Fear, and then boost your leader's turn meter by 15%. This is an absolutely incredible skill. So I want to show you guys the team that I'm going to be using for stage 30. I don't know for sure if it's going to be 100% consistent. I've ran somewhere between 10 and 15 runs so far, no fails, but Geomancer's also placed his burn every time. So maybe there's some misses. I can actually strip some accuracy from him to see how it actually works. I wouldn't be surprised if the success rate's closer to like a 97%, but this team's been very smooth. Now, if you don't have Kymar, you could use a Yumiko. Maybe you have her instead. You could use a Crixia, probably. There's other champions that you could probably use. You could maybe fit a Renegade in. If there's other reset champions who could essentially... Really what I'm looking for is to reset Sir Nick, just so he can do the Unkillable again, and then reset Newt so he can get another A3 off pretty soon. It's the most important things here. Newt's A3, and then Sir Nick's Unkillable. The Unkillable is going to keep us protected. It's going to keep us safe. But the speed tunes of these champions is very important because you don't want to be placing the Unkillable when the boss, or before the boss does that strip, or else it's just going to be removed. You also got to be very careful with Geomancer. I was trying to speed tune him to go just before the Unkillable. So it'd be Geomancer casting the burn, then the Unkillable coming up, and Geomancer would be sitting on 2 turns of Unkillable. Right now he's only on 1 turn of Unkillable, because if I try to make Geo faster than the boss, then it ends up having Kaja's block debuff on the boss, so Geomancer is placing his burn into nothing. You also see right there that Geomancer placed his HP burn on the Kaja. I'm not for sure if it's resisted on the boss, if he'll try to reapply it on the boss. We'll try that out in a minute. But what you'll notice in this team is we do have a shield set. Do not bring two shield sets. I tried it. I put a shield set on Sir Nick as well as on Kymar to see if I could stack a bigger shield so I could survive these hits a little bit better, because these champions hit pretty daggone hard. But the boss counts that as 2 buffs. Now, maybe you could use this to your advantage and actually get the boss to take that instant turn, place those fears. I'm not for sure what you could do with that, but assuming you want to run the same team, only have 1 shield set. I definitely think a shield set's more than worth it and basically needed, because this Cupidus, this Venus all hit very hard, which we're using to my advantage by having Geomancer place the burn on the boss, with Cupidus having the increased attack on him, us having the decreased defense and weaken. I want all of these debuffs. I want him to have all the buffs. I don't want Cupidus to have a decreased attack, nothing to reduce his damage. I don't want Ursaga in the team. I don't want a Necrit in the team. No ally protection necessarily, though that may not make a huge difference. I really just want Cupidus doing as much damage as possible, and then having as many champions doing AoE skills as I can to activate his A1 counterattack. So you'll see Kymar doing his A1 skill every now and then. Geomancer has his A2s turned off, so it's just activations on Cupidus and then getting nuked down before the boss gets back around to the strip plus the True Fear, or Kaja gets to the cleanse plus the block debuffs. So as far as the team presets go, we have Sir Nick just using his A3 as a priority. Newt is using the A3 number 1, the A2 number 2. It's an AoE skill, so we're going to use that. Kymar, I don't want him using the sleep because I don't want Cupidus to not be using that A1 skill. If he can use it, I want him using it. And then we have Inquisitor Shamel doing whatever he wants. He's really not built for anything specific, literally just there to cleanse the fears. Matter of fact, he may be your best shield set option. He does have a buff duration reduction on his A1 ability. I tried to get this to work, but it's really difficult and really kind of complicated. Too difficult of a speed tune for this to actually decrease the duration of the block debuffs. I didn't want to mess with that. Also, it's adding another layer of RNG to it. And then we have Geomancer. Of course, Geomancer is bringing that A3 skill, which is placing the HP burn plus the weaken, reflecting the damage back, and just really destroying the boss. Now, we do have 3 legendary champions in here, which 2 of them could be built with accuracy, which means if you have blessings, Brimstone is going to make this even better. If you can place Brimstone on your champions, this is going to be pretty close to, if not 100%. Matter of fact, if I had Sir Nick in here at a 5-star blessing from the recent event, I would put a Brimstone on him and give him some accuracy just to land the Brimstone. A consistent Brimstone is going to make this, it would be the thing, if anything, that would make this run 100%, I believe. Newt, however, I would rather him be in Soul Reap unless you had a high star blessing for Kymar. Whoever you have a high star blessing for that you can get Soul Reap to, honestly, 3 star is probably the best. 5 star, you can't do more than 10% max HP anyways, so we would be left with 4% if the boss was at 14%. So really the sweet spot's at 3%, or the 3 star, the 8% max HP threshold. So if you have a 3 star blessing on Kymar or Newt, put them in Soul Reap. Excellent, excellent stuff, because sometimes the damage comes up a little bit short. Now, for the actual builds, we have Newt and Merciless, so Savage, Instinct. Just try to get him to actually hit the max HP cap. You can have your Geomancer going before Newt to do a little bit more damage, to help Newt do a little bit more damage from the weekend. But if your Newt struggles to do damage without decreased defense, then you may have a hard time. For his Blessing, I already showed that, and then his Masters are right over here. Now, I have Giant Slayer. You could maybe throw in like a Helm Smasher or Flawless Execution, but I think Giant Slayer is just the best thing, honestly. Now, for the relics, there are some gemstones that are really good for him. I think it's like 10% extra damage in dungeons. I forget where it is, but it is nice if you can fit it in there. It's a legendary gemstone. 10%, okay. The wearer deals 10% more damage in dungeon battles. So this, on any relic, will help your Newt deal the max HP damage. Mine, I don't think is hitting it consistently, but it's still okay. Next up, we have Tshirt, which I already mentioned that Inquisitor Shamael may be a better shield set champion for you, but I have mine in a shield set currently. You want him to be relatively fast so that once the boss does the strip plus the True Fear, that Inquisitor Shamael's turn meter boost onto Tshirt is going to allow him to go before the Cupidus, because if not, your team's going to get wrecked. That Cupidus hits pretty daggone hard. So if you had Brimstone, throw accuracy on. If not, just make him survive. Make him tanky. That's all you need. Needs his books. Actually, if you run Kymar, he doesn't even need his books, honestly. And then masteries that have none. For Inquisitor Shamael, could be a shield set. Really doesn't matter what he is. He is there for one reason and one reason only. That is to cleanse the fears. He could be in literally any set you want him to be in, I believe. There may be a few you shouldn't, like Relentless. He'll probably die. But other than that, he's fine. And then Kymar is just the slowest in the team. I had him in a shield set, but it counts as 2 buffs being placed on everybody, giving the boss an extra turn. So I don't like that idea. Geomancer is in Perception. Just Perception gear. Pretty fast. That's all we have. I tried him in a Supersonic. It's an interesting build because we get the buffs from Kaja plus somebody else doing increased accuracy. So it's an interesting build, but I ended up just dropping that and just going pure Perception and just making him faster than the boss, which if we look at the Hell Hades website, we can see all the speeds right here. The boss is 265. So him being faster, actually it doesn't even matter because Kaja's giving the turn meter boost. I just want him to be fast. Faster than 250, slower than 300. I don't want him going before Kaja. Maybe there's a speed tune you could do to make that work though. So I do want to test something. I want to see if I strip the accuracy from him. I'm going to need 505 accuracy at least to be landing my stuff. But if I take this banner off, he's currently sitting at 390 accuracy. How does this play out? Is this anything better? Are we actually going to be able to finish it? I really want to know if he misses it the first time. Is he going to try to reapply it on the boss, or is he going to just look at Kaja because of her high turn meter and go for her? Now, there's ways you can go about managing that turn meter of Kaja, I'm sure. I don't know exactly what speed he needs to be to, when it's his second turn, to have Kaja and Timid lower turn meters and have the boss at a pretty high turn meter. I haven't figured that out yet. And it's honestly a little more speed tuning than I want to do. I've spent like an hour or two trying to work on this and perfecting it. It seems excellent to me. I'm happy with it. I'm going to use it on my account, but there's definitely some tweaks you could make. You could try to get the champions to slot in between Cupidus. It can definitely be optimized further. It's not perfect. We got resist on that first one. So now what I want to see is if, or when we get back to our turn, is he going to try to reapply on the boss or to somebody else? I'm very interested in that. Assuming, okay, yeah, I should have a reset from Kymar. He should get to reapply the burn. So right now, you can see that Kaja has high turn meter. Newt, of course, is going to go into A3. Not quite hitting max HP. So Geomancer is doing basically that much damage. Who's he going to apply it to? Okay, I couldn't tell. Was it Timid? It may have went for Timid there. If that was the case, then maybe drop his turn meter or his speed a little bit more, and you may be able to be fine. I don't want to mess with the speed tune too much, though, because this team's already working. But something for you, if you notice that your Geo's getting resisted the first time, and the second time of trying to apply it on somebody else, just go in there and bump up or lower his speed to see if you can come in on that second go around just after Timit takes his turn. And the ball should have enough HP, we're going to have a chance to apply it again. Now, the run may still be sketchy at that point. I'm really not sure because, I mean, you're pretty deep into the fight at that point. But let's see if we have a accuracy banner here. I'll show you guys the run when it's actually successful again. So, I mean, it's a great team. This Inquisitor Shamel stuff is awesome. So you can play with this with a lot of different setups. Honestly, if you wanted to go double shield sets and you had a team that could just boost them or drop the ball super quickly, something like that, you could just do double shield sets. The boss is going to do the strip, and now all of a sudden you can place Unkillable right in the beginning. However, Venus is also going to do a strip. So you got to watch out for her. You can't have your Unkillable champion, which certainly it could be anybody. He could be Helikath, he could be Imik, he could be Roshkard, he could be literally anybody who does Unkillable or block damage, just something for you to survive. Newt, of course, could be like a Marius, possibly even an Acrisia. He could be probably not a Thorion, probably not enough damage for that. Probably need a little bit more max HP stuff, but maybe. If you have max HP stuff that's more than just a single hitter, so like a double hitter at least, you may be okay. And a Thorion does have the benefit of getting back around to his multi-hit skill pretty quickly. But you can see here, Geomancer is doing a huge chunk of damage. There we go. And now the Soul Reap comes out, and we finish it off. A minute. It's not the fastest run, but it seems very safe, very consistent, and honestly using pretty free-to-play accessible champions, other than Prince Kymar. But like I said, you can probably swap him out for like a Renegade or something. I don't know the exact speed tune for that. And the issue would be the Geomancer dropping his Unkillable and then just dying, basically. Because Renegade reduces everything by 2 turns, and Tshirt would need a 3-turn reduction at least. Which we do have champions who do that. Crixia, Yumiko, the Fighty champion, I think, maybe. Not for sure. But yeah, you can use, for Tshirt spot, you could use Imik. You could use Roshkard. You could use, oh my goodness, I can't type. You could use Imik. You could use Roshkard. You could use Helikath. All these block damage champions. You want the block damage or Unkillable up for at least 2 turns, though. 1 turn's not going to work. If you had a massive shield, that could work as well. Not the most ideal since you're trying to take the hits. But there you go, guys. That is my stage 30 team. I hope this helps you out in building your stuff. Let me know if you have any interesting team, any cool new innovations for this dungeon. But I'm happy with this. I mean, it's a minute run. Could be sped up, I'm sure. Could be further optimized. But for now, it's not failed me yet. And if I got some Brimstone on these champions, it'd be even better. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Best of luck in building this team. I'll show you guys the stats one more time in case you're curious from the preset menu. So Tshirt, 254 in a shield set. Newt, 262 in Merciless, 6-piece. Kymar, 216, no set. Shamel, you can put him in a shield set. Doesn't matter what he has. Doesn't really matter his speed. Just make sure he survives. And then Geomancer, turn off the A2. 287 speed. Accuracy is very important. Check out the Hell Hades website. You guys can see all the stat requirements and all the speeds of these champions. Best of luck, guys. Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.